Oh shit! Now I gotta find my watch page. Fuck me.
Wait, what's the topic of this stream?
Shit and proposal. The YouTube terms of service proposal.
Oh, okay.
So it's probably gonna be boring as fuck, but Marking will try to ruin it for everybody. So we got that going for us.
So are we all North American in this room right now?
I think so. You know, the reason that I started this stream on Saturday evening was because it's kind of dead at this time, and I'm in a Skype group that Undoomed comes on every once in a while, and he was going, "Oh man, I wish somebody had a stream going. I want to bullshit." And I said, "Well, if I started streaming, yeah, and." He said he would come on if I started it, so fucking A, he showed up the first time. Hey everybody in chat, let me try to introduce people. I don't know who this guy is with the glasses on. Sorry.
I switched. I turned on my camera last second just to make your life more difficult. So.
Okay, is that Richard?
Yeah.
Okay, BlackSalami, or I was hoping you were going to stick with the Morgan Freeman because I was going to tell hey everybody, my special guest is Morgan Freeman.
Yeah, exactly.
and you fucking, right, you know. God damn it, you ruined my fraud. Next we got Marking Bad, Empire of Truth, and fake name Taylor, but what do you go by, Fuddernuteh or something? You got a branding.
Or... It's either Fuddernuteh or Taylor.
Yeah. Man, you got to understand branding. You go with the same name everywhere, and then people know who the fuck you are. But you do your thing.
I'll go Fuddernuteh then.
Okay, Butternuteh. And then we have Anders, our resident artist.
Hello, everyone. Yes, resident artist, graphic designer, and nerd.
I'll get everybody.
He's also a vapist, clearly.
I'll get everybody's stuff in the low bar after the stream, or probably tomorrow morning, and then I'll retweet out the stream.
I already showed my low bar yesterday.
Yeah, you did, buddy. We were off stream, and Marking showed his low bar to Justicar. It was a moment in history that.
And apparently several people had their fingers hovering on the print screen.
I literally had my wife fucking smack me with a shovel after that. It helped. All right, so we're here to talk about the proposal that I put forward. I guess it was on Friday, or fuck, I don't remember when. And I've just been getting inundated with tweets and volunteers and fucking Skype contacts, and everybody has questions. So, I mean, panel, do you have any questions first, and then we'll take questions from chat? And, right, somebody that joined our group volunteered to go through YouTube's terms of service and to find out that we're not going to get any YouTubers in trouble with what we plan. So that's already in the works to figure out. I guess one of the things that I want to make clear is I don't want anybody that volunteers or becomes a member of this thing to donate money. We don't need money donations at all. We'll monetize this thing through, I don't know, some kind of other way. It won't be up to me, but we may do minimal advertising. We may do our own Patreon. All right. So if people use our site, we do Patreon like function. People that donate to the people that we host, we would collect a Patreon type fee from that, and that way we could do fund these servers. Those are kind of the leading ideas right now, but I want to make it clear for the big YouTubers that have contacted me and asked me about this, because they're a little bit leery, and you can understand they don't want to put their names behind something if people that are the volunteers and are putting this together are trying to pad our pockets. No, there's going to be no taking money from people. There's going to be no pad in the pockets. I can fund a server for the entire time this thing is under development, and we'll only need to monetize it and figure out money to get the thing actually running right before we go live. Go ahead, Anders.
I think it's Popcorn Time does something very similar where they kind of had a ad hoc distributed, network of servers and computers that host the content, and it's delivered via BitTorrent to various people who have the program installed on their computer, and then if they have it installed, they're also hosting certain pieces of content as well. The only issue that I can really see with this is maintaining a critical mass of uptime machines, so that and reliable machines with good network uptime
exactly.
connections.
One of the things that the kind of the BitTorrent or Bitcoin model could do is provide a backup for YouTubers. In other words, like some people don't have the means to, have all of their videos on their systems, so we might be able to offer that where they could recompile their catalog, put it up on our system or something like that for people that got their videos shut down.
Yeah.
Yeah, we could do something like that. Look, it's not up to me, guys. All I did was have the idea, set up the Discord server, and we're going to have the tech people work this out. The tech people are going to bring it to basically an exploratory or a steering committee. They're going to, analyze the pros and the cons, put that into a document, and present that to the membership, and the membership is going to decide, yeah, we like option A, B, or C. But I think the first and most likely scenario is we own maybe the server, or we get hosting from somebody like DigitalOcean, where you have a lot of control over.
Oh yeah.
You're basically working in a virtual machine there, right?
Yes, the DigitalOcean's droplets are very flexible. They are virtualized VM services. However, they allow you pretty much bare bones control, as if you had bare metal control essentially.
Right.
But the only issue with that is I don't believe DigitalOcean offers unlimited transfer. I think it maxes out at about a terabyte of transfer for their standard stuff, and you're
exactly right. And so the thing is, they won't host the videos. I'm thinking that the people that use our alternate listing service, they'll go in, they'll say, okay, I put this listing on YouTube. And so when people go to our site to look at their video and they click on that guy, first they'll go to YouTube if YouTube's up and running because they listed him first. Or if they click on, or if that video is not available, they go to the second one, or vice versa. Like if they, if they wanted them to go to their own server first, they could have that as the first place that our server checks. And the only thing about that though is, YouTube's got the bandwidth. We know that. These second servers,
You're kind of imaging something more like how Project TV or Project Free TV works.
Well, I'm not saying that that's how it's going to be. I'm just saying that's kind of what I foresee. I don't have the technology to really say, or the technical know-how.
I honestly think that the place that we should start is with the database of citations and things to compile information together. I think that would be something that would be very useful for a lot of people, and something that we could easily get off the ground much more quickly versus other solutions like video hosting or something like that, because we could essentially do it as a open wiki project, which could be hosted on inexpensive web hosting. And since it's essentially just mostly text and maybe a handful of images, we could have one section of the wiki be devoted to hosting citation references, and then have another section of the wiki for the actual users and content creators, so that they can list, okay, here's me, here's the list of all of my videos, and then here's the list of all of the backup videos on other websites or personal websites that I have. And that could be an initial solution for some of the things that you're looking to do, Tom.
Yeah, I think that's a good point. In fact, my favorite idea of this project is the research tool. I think what we need is one crew that is really interested in the video part of it, because we're talking volunteers here. They can work on that, and we'll try to get volunteers for the part that you and I are more interested in, Anders, to have two different kind of projects going, and they're coordinating with each other, but whoever gets done first gets done first.
It would be a good place to start. At least then you'd be able to see the actual interest level and kind of catch things on a smaller scale before it becomes a failure.
At the end of the day, I think trying to capture any meaningful market share away from the YouTube as the established video hosting platform is going to be very difficult. I mean, even their closest competitor, Vimeo, is really more of like a niche, artsy kind of video hosting company that really doesn't have the same kinds of features and usability and tools that are offered to content creators. So I don't think I honestly think that our best bet for long-term, like, actual useful things is probably going to be setting up some kind of database and research wiki that we can refer back to and kind of have as this searchable place for us to find things, put stuff in the basket, and then have things we can take out of the basket. Meanwhile, I think it would be much more effective to attempt to do another push, like a hashtag where's the fair use, and get YouTube to start applying their terms of service in a much more fair manner.
Let me just interject there a little bit, Anders, before I forget, because I'm old. But yeah, I'm with you. I agree with you. This isn't really trying to unseat YouTube. I'm not. In my mind, I'm not. We can't get there. That'll only happen if YouTube fucks up really bad. But we could be there to people for like atheism. God, I can't even say atheism is unstoppable. We could be the place for his people to go because he got banned. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly.
So what we do is we don't take YouTube and push them out of the market. We just add on what YouTube is not willing. We take on what YouTube won't, basically.
Yeah, and I like that idea of trying to be a safe space and kind of safe space, be a
choice of words.
Yeah, exactly. Fucking regressives, they fucking stole that, like, really. It'd be this area where you don't have to worry about, okay, so I offended somebody, so what? This platform doesn't care. We'll still feature your content even if we don't necessarily agree with it. So it's and maybe not even necessarily feature, but just host. Like let the marketplace of ideas be free and open, and the best ideas will win out, hopefully. Instead of attempting to artificially control and censor things that certain groups might find objectionable.
I see that almost being a good place too. That's what kind of drew me in on your original post there, Tom.
Yeah.
Was it's not there to replace YouTube. It's there as that backup.
Exactly. So they can't silence people that have a message to get out. Especially because of the new terms of service. Fuck, I forget what they are, but basically, if you upset somebody, we can kick your ass off YouTube. Really? Well,
that's basically-
fuck, I'm going to find a goddamn safety net in case I do get kicked off.
Well, you look, the way I can see YouTube's new service agreement really fucking up is because, okay, I hate to bring him up, but Leafy, he's got 3 million subscribers. He gets kicked off, it's going to create waves.
But, okay, so here's the thing about YouTube's new addendums to their TOS.
I bet we can get some Russian servers and some Chinese servers to fucking host videos. You know what I'm saying? Because our site will be the listing part of it, and we will link to people's... here's what I imagine. My site cost me $5 a month. And I could fucking stream all of my content, no problem. I got no bandwidth issues. I don't have 7 million viewers. So, like, I could take 5 of you guys. We could band together, each pay $1 a month, put all of our videos onto my site that I have, and we could stream to the amount of people that watch our videos from there, no problem. All right, so... what if you're dealing with a host that's in California and subject to SJW? Yeah, you might have to go, you know what, I'm going to call somebody from India that's got a server running over there. I'm going to put my fucking videos over there.
Well, the other thing...
They can't do shit. They can't do shit.
Another part is, think of the old days whenever you'd go on to a porn site. You always had to click, I'm over 18, okay.
You still have to do that on any of the NSFW Reddits.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, have something like that. This is satire. If you don't like it, fuck off.
Yeah, YouTube should do that. Exactly.
NSFW, what is that? Not safe for whiners?
That too.
Not safe for the women's.
Oh no!
But yeah, I was... that's been floated around several times. They've got the, checkbox for the 18 folk. They should have a checkbox for, hey, this video is combative, right?
I'm easily offended.
There was a fucking, I think Liz Riptile put a video out. Somebody with like 3.5 million fucking subscribers got his account hacked. And he doesn't have that shit on his videos on his own machine, so that account is gone. Wouldn't it be nice if we said, hey, dude, if your shit goes down, we'll be your backup plan, right? And we'll help you get your YouTube back up and running. We can't put back your comments, but we can get your videos back up for you. And,
well, what would be a really good idea at this point would probably be to create like some kind of a shitlord archive or something. Somebody download all the videos and just store them on a site.
Well, yeah, that's what we're saying. Is that individually the shitlord would choose to do that himself. I mean, he's that fucking lazy.
I've got all of my videos hosted on my machine. So
yeah, me too.
Well, no, but yeah, it's anybody listening who's like not a complete and total shithead or an SJW, feel free to download all my videos and save them.
Yeah, I mean, feel free to download all of my videos if you don't cringe too much while watching them.
Same.
There are services where you can download like YouTube videos, right? Because like people do it for music, for example. And you could easily set up an API where someone like logs into their Google account on our website, and instantly we could download their YouTube videos directly onto our site and rehost them. Now, I don't know what the legal ramifications of that would be.
Very illegal.
We'll have somebody look into those kind of things before.
It's completely possible.
one of the suggestions for that would be to have various content members have a separate page where they say, I am open to having material mirrored, and it's specifically set in a separate playlist stating this is who it's been mirrored from. and it's sub-hosted by this particular content creator.
But for storing and archiving all of the videos and all of the information that we could use for research, I mean, having our own subreddit could be usful for that.
Yeah, I don't know if you came up with that idea, but definitely what we'll do is we'll put that idea before the membership, and we'll ask the committee to appoint somebody to manage it, and then somebody can go over there and manage what the fuck we're doing over on subreddit. I think that's a great idea.
I'd be willing to manage a subreddit. That's probably the only really useful skill that I could offer.
I don't even have the technical skills.
We'll get
to
a couple
do that,
guys so that there's at least 2 eyeballs over there making sure that
somebody doesn't get power hungry.
Yeah, he doesn't get retarded.
Somebody doesn't go full.
I'm looking at you, Gavin. You fucking commie.
I never blocked or ban anyone for disagreeing, but I understand the precaution you'd want to take and why.
Well, I mean, once you've got all that power, it might go to your head and it might go to your gut, and then you might go full Chipman. Okay, who's got the fucking stream running in the
background?
Go through
some of the questions that were posted in the. By the way, people, I kind of in my video I said this was the AltTube project, but we're hosting this on a site a server called Greathall. So one of the questions I got was, and I'm sharing my screen now. I don't know if you can see it. Have I been talking to big YouTubers? And yeah, I have been talking to big YouTubers, but you can imagine that they've got a lot at stake. I mean, they're successful channels. If I was a big YouTuber, I would kind of, wait until I was very sure that, we had good leadership. I mean, business kind of minded people in the leadership positions. I would want to know that, hey, that you're not asking for money. You're not going to fucking try to screw none of my subscribers. So, yeah, I think the big YouTubers are going to be on the sidelines until we can get them those assurances, and I don't think we'll be able to actually do that until we have basically what would amount to a corporate charter, if you will. And you guys got to think of this as, look, not only are we trying to do things technology, but we're trying to establish a company kind of like Mozilla. It's a non-profit company, or we're trying to share everything that we do. So if we fuck up and have a blow up, any member could just pick up where we left off, take everything and all the technology we developed and the information that we developed, and start their own channel, or not their own channel, but their own service. And but at the start of this, just like these Creative Commons license, they have to do it open source as well. They can't take the stuff and then go out there and say, okay, now I've copyrighted all of this technology and anything I develop from here on out's mine. No.
Yeah,
if you're going to take what? Yes, go ahead, Andy.
Just throw it under. There are already a bunch of licenses that are developed for that specific purpose in the open source community, such as the BSD license. I believe the Apache license is very similar, as well as the GNU license as well.
Yep.
So we don't have to develop anything as far as licensing goes. We literally just have to copy and paste the BSD license, and
the one that the committee and the membership picks, basically.
Yeah. So in the open source community, there are a number of software licenses under which open source software is published, such as the ones that I just mentioned. It's basically the agreements that you sign to when you use the software or want to modify and then reuse the software for other purposes. So say I develop a small little app that tells me what the weather is, and I publish it under the BSD license. If I publish it under the BSD license and somebody wants to take the code that I wrote and then reuse it for something else, they have to in turn use it under that exact same license with the exact same licensing requirements.
How that works is people retain their copyrights for what they're doing. In other words, they're saying, I own this technology, but I hereby give everybody permission forever to use it so long as they do what I did, basically, and make it open to the public. And Firefox is that way. I don't know if anybody uses Firefox or, Thunderbird. Yeah. If you wanted to fucking do Thunderbird, you could go grab their code tonight and fucking start a new thread of that technology. You just have to follow the same fucking license that they gave you, if that makes sense.
I'll get you.
That's the story of Linux, actually.
Say we end up somebody mentioned something about Kickstarter or crowdfunding. That's great. Then we'd have to keep those books completely open for that kind of thing, so we can see that no one's actually skimming off the top.
Yes. I don't have a problem with that. I mean,
of course, if you're funding it, Tom, we're not going to look at your books because...
Right.
Well, yeah, but I mean, guys, my comment about Kickstarter in the chat was a joke.
Oh, no, all I saw was the word Kickstarter, and on Discourse it was the crowdfunding was brought up.
Yeah. We've got to be open with the money, how the money is distributed. But by the way, anybody that's in chat or that watches this video, if you become a member, this is kind of what you'll see. You'll see these text channels here, and whenever there's a message in a channel you haven't seen yet, there'll be this little dot here by it, and then you can click there, and then it'll show you the new messages, and then you can see what's going on there.
Another thing that you might want to take into consideration is how much of a pain in the ass it's going to be to be in compliance so that nobody can cause you any problems, through law or otherwise.
Right. That's one of the things I was saying, right? It's not just the tech side of it. We do need people that know the legal rules.
Yeah, we specifically need somebody who's sympathetic to our cause and knows enough about the legalese in regards to DMCA and online copyright issues to make sure that we're keeping everything copacetic and not having to worry about issues with the hosting service getting a DMCA complaint and then having additional issues through that avenue.
Right. I think that's why we'll have to host have our own server when we go live, Anders, because I can see them attacking our fucking host, whoever it is, all the time, and they'll just get fucking tired of it and say, fuck guys, go somewhere else. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. It's like what I had said on Discourse there. What happens if, we find this server, great bandwidth and everything else. 6 months in, we find out that it's actually owned by Microsoft or Google, and we're under their umbrella terms of service.
Yeah.
Well, now, Tom, just as a heads up, I think I might know a guy who can put me in touch with a server that will tell anybody that complains about us, so go piss up a rope.
That would be great.
I'll see what I can find out, and I'll get back to you on that.
All right, sounds good.
And my contribution to this is, if you put me in charge of the human resources, I will hate all of them equally and tolerate no drama. There will be a large stickerata regularly, and the peons will be beaten until they understand. I don't give a fuck.
Guys, I was thinking if this does take off and we do have a company, and we'll say we're going to have to hire an accountant. I can't imagine getting a volunteer accountant.
I actually know somebody.
Accounting.
Okay, all right, but say we just go with me. Just go with me. Say we hired an accountant or whatever, and or even a volunteer, and they get a hold of us. The SJWs, and they're like, "Hey, this son of a bitch is a racist," and we're like, yeah, we don't give a shit. Fuck off. Well, wouldn't that be the greatest company to work for?
Yes, they would.
I mean,
that would be pretty nice.
Right?
Well,
we're gonna dox your guy.
That's what I love
You're gonna
so
lose your
much.
job. No, you're not, because my fucking employer is fucking free speech employer, so fuck off.
Well,
It's Google
but
Ads,
Tom,
ironically.
Tom, that's the beauty
Hey,
of the
Tom.
company I work for. They will. Somebody's already tried that with me. They told them to take a fucking hike.
That was actually like the company that's the reason why I actually have the picture that I do for my profile. Is that picture got me kicked off or a strike against me on Facebook where I couldn't even log in or nothing for about a week.
Same.
And the same people tried calling my work.
Jesus.
I even took half those calls because I was on call, and all the after hours one came to me. And they're like, you have this employee named so-and-so, and he is this, this, this. I'm just like,
Speaking.
oh, yeah. Well, did you ever hear of closing a window or unfriending him? Because it has nothing to do with his work.
Awesome,
Nice.
man.
No, I feel you. I got banned from Facebook too.
Yeah.
Wait,
Yeah,
banned from Facebook.
I
thought
posted something against homos.
site-wide
That's
ban.
really all I did.
See,
I'm
that's
tamed on Facebook. Like I'm part of a bunch of groups, and I'll post my stuff on those groups, but on my main timeline, I just do nothing.
Yeah. Here, any other questions about the big YouTubers? I will tell you that Bering asked me when this stream was going to be, and he thought he would be too tired at that point to. I think he wanted to come in to chat and fuck with the chat, but.
Well, I think it'd be good, even if a big YouTuber wasn't really putting content on or anything, just kind of keeping an eye and getting their opinion from somebody that gets 100,000 views a month.
Yeah.
Say, hey, you know what? This isn't going to work for you guys.
Yeah, I think that it'll get to the point where they'll be willing to promote what we're doing. Once we have the safeguards in place, they won't go all out and say you need to go over here and volunteer. They'll probably say something like, "Hey, that's a project worth checking out if you believe in free speech. Just check it out. Protect yourself. Check it out. See what you think. Let me know what you think." I mean, and once we get that, we're going to have probably all the volunteers we can fucking handle.
Yeah, only thing is, if we do try and get those big YouTubers, we're gonna need to monetize the hell out of everything if you want to get that guy T. Is the only way he's going to be for it.
Right.
Because
we're not taking on YouTube. We're not going to diminish anybody's YouTube revenue. We're not asking them to switch. We're not asking them to give up YouTube.
No.
Yeah,
offering
which is
them
why
an
I think.
alternative.
Yes.
Yeah, which is why I think the wiki and the database and just a list of places where video is mirrored is the best way to start out and attract bigger names to it, and be able to say, hey, here's a resource that you can use for your research. Here's something that we can all pool together and find stuff that we can collectively critique and talk about, and come together, do collab videos if we want, and things like that as a centralized website. And then on top of that, we also have a list of places where people can create a personal page and say, hey, here's where I've mirrored all of my videos in case YouTube decides to shut my channel down.
Yep.
Oh.
I agree with that, Anders. We need to get you on the Greathall server so that you can keep reminding us that.
That was different than what I saw it originally as, but that would be a great way to start, especially since YouTube really hasn't started banning left, right, and center yet.
Right.
They started going. They originally went after Cult of Dusty and some of the people who also have mirrored the video that originally got him in trouble. I think it was because my friends at the Nightmare Field podcast, Reese and Hagbard. Their main channel got a strike, and so they can no longer stream on their main channel, so they have to stream on a secondary channel, and that's in good standing. So because they mirrored one of his videos.
That's a perfect example of somebody that could easily get fucking knocked off of YouTube, Hagbard, and I fucking love his shit.
Oh, Hagbard's a lot of fun.
Oh,
Oh
man.
yeah, me too.
He's a no mercy motherfucker. I love him.
Yep.
Other than the retards who like watching viral cat videos, who's going to be left if they kick all the fun YouTubers off the social media?
For real.
I mean, seriously. I mean, I don't have that big of a following, but if Sargon or one of those guys got kicked off, I'm pretty sure people would be like, "Well, what's the point in even fucking coming here anymore?"
Guys,
With
let me
T-
go over this real quick. This is the not the Greathall server. This is actually the greathall.org website wiki. And I did an example here of, say you're in an argument with somebody that on Twitter or maybe even in a live debate, and you got your little fucking, your tablet with you, and they say, oh yeah, but according to this study, what study? And they tell you the name of the study, and you type it in, and you look it up, and now you go to our site and you look up, okay, here
Yeah,
is
but
all
that would be really, really cumbersome. We can probably, sorry to interrupt you, I'm finally getting the shit.
No, go ahead, but
what we could actually do is actually set it up in the database so all of the discussion happens like a comment system. Here's the post, this is the situation, and then you have like a comment system that relates to each and every discussion, so you can just go to the page and see this is all of the discussions, these are the pros, these are the cons.
You're exactly right. Yeah. And that is, you're reading my mind, because the end of this presentation is, now imagine this not on a wiki, imagine this stored in a database.
Well, the wiki works on a database, but it's just going to basically need a bit more of a user-friendly interface, because the wiki is a bit old-fashioned.
If they cite a specific study to tell you, no, you're wrong, it's proven in this study, and then you pull this up and said, actually, that wasn't a study, that was an article written by, a feminist, what I'm saying?
That was an op-ed.
Somebody cites this article. This is the template, but Simona is exactly right. We want this to be a better thing, driven by database, a lot better. Now, also, you'll see that you can do this by topics, right? So I have gender topics here, and I have the wage gap. So if somebody starts talking about the wage gap, you can just pull this up to remember all the points. And what I want to do is have groups. So say me and Marking and Gavin, we like working together. We could start our own little area, our own little wiki database driven area where we're putting together our arguments. And then Marking likes it a little bit different than I do. What we can do with a database is we could say, okay, I'm going to take this from the group work, and I'm going to add my own sentence down here to it, and I'm going to have a little bit different entry. But if the group information changes, that'll automatically update my individual arguments. So you see, that's also something that I would like to see done.
I like the idea of having all these arguments actually or articles, not arguments, but on a easily searched database.
It would make life easier, and it would also, it's going, like I said, we're in the middle of a culture war, and very soon we're going to start seeing things being taken down. So it's going to be a bit of a matter, we may have to actually do a bit of an archiving job, not just of videos, but also of information and studies. There's a lot of stuff that's being hosted and provided only by the universities that run it. And we all know what happened to what's happening to the fucking universities. They're being taken over by these bunch of idiots.
One of the rules of fair use is being able to collect information and store it for research purposes. That's exactly what I'm talking about. So we can download into PDFs any of these studies, whatever. We don't make those back available to the public, but for the people that are involved in the research themselves, if the main link is down, they can go and go into our archive and pull it up.
Like I've said earlier in the chat, I would personally put it in a neutral country with no sort of stupid fucking speech censorship laws. I mean, I keep my servers in Iceland. You can get cheap servers, like I think you can get it for like under £50 a month, so it'll be like $60-70 a month. That would have enough of a capacity to keep. See, you'd have like a current version, the newest stuff, and then you'd archive and compress the older stuff and make it available for download.
Right.
So that way you reduce the necessary space and bandwidth.
And we could put it up on our site, and the Sony would come after us, and we'd say, okay, we take it down, and then Felfop would say, okay, here's my counter notice and my affidavit, and we would say, okay, we're putting it back up. Fucking sue Felfop if you want, Sony. Leave us the fuck out of it.
Yeah, I mean, we can even, like, when they're signing up for the website, say, hey, when you upload something to our servers, you know, it's your property. You basically own it. But anyone can access it at any time. And, you know, we could all have it indexed. Like, people could have their own, you know, articles, videos, streams, whatever, and anyone could search it up and find it on their page or on a single page by itself. And if Sony had a problem with a specific piece of content, they could, like, go after us, but then we say, hey, look, they own the content, not us. We'll communicate to them, you know, your concerns.
Right.
Sony wouldn't be able. Sony wouldn't be able to go after us unless we are unless the servers are based in a country that has a strong copyright jurisdiction. You put it somewhere like South America or China or India, and they can't do anything about it.
Yep.
They can go after YouTube in the States, but they can't go after you in China because China doesn't even have the concept of intellectual property.
That's a good
Something
point.
like that.
And,
that's what I was saying. They can only come after you if you're registered somewhere where the law is, where the law permits it. If you're put it where the devil say good night, what are Sony going to do? They're not going to come to our places. They don't know who we are. They can just go sit there and basically go blah, 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 and that's basically it.
all right, Simona, be sure to post that concept in this, because that's an issue. You say this is resolved if you you know, put the content into China, so, or whatever. Basically, the idea is we would have a not Patreon, but a Patreonic-like function for our researchers. So anybody that's putting a lot of effort in getting these articles into the system, you know, and correctly categorizing them or criticizing them, if we take donations, they would get some money for the work that they've done, but I'm suggesting that we put a cap on it, because, you know, if somebody, I don't know, took 15 fucking minutes to put up the CONSAD report or something like that, you know, fuck, everybody knows about the CONSAD report. I don't want to give that guy $100 a year for the rest of his life, but maybe I'm willing to give the guy that first gets it up $100, and then as soon as he's paid off, our service now keeps that money. But before we start doing that, that will all be outlined before people start contributing, so they know beforehand what their compensation will be, or what metrics we're using to make sure that they're compensated. So
well, there is also something else. We can actually use it, like provide as an archive a system of like you know, bibliography for researchers and universities and stuff. A lot of people who actually work with these sort of things would pay the same way they pay for the Library of Congress and so on and so forth, or for the MIT Digital Library for access. So you don't have to spend umpteen fucking hours to go and look when you can have all of the material somewhere. And we can offer something like a subscription or a one-off payment for someone, if someone wants to write a thesis and needs to see all of the material that's available on subject X, they can pay, and there's access to it for a limited time or permanently. We'll have to decide where the resources there. You take advantage of the work that's being done to put it together and to host it. It costs you so much. And then at the end of the day, you have like tiers of paying back the contributors, like the top tier being like original work, and then contributors, and then gathering information, verifying, and so on and so forth.
The only thing that I would say, yeah, let me get in there, and then I don't know who's next, but the only thing I would say about that, this is for YouTubers, so like YouTubers that are putting out content, maybe some, I don't know, a minimal amount of subscribers, and they're actually doing activism kind of work. I would want them to be able to access it for free. But yeah.
I agree with you on that, Tom. I think the back end, just keeping it up and running, should be funded. But as far as like actually, if you're a YouTuber, you know, like myself, I only have a couple hundred subs, but still, I mean, I don't think like a YouTuber on my level or even lower, you know, like 25 or 50 subs shouldn't have access to this kind of information, where they're able to go to this one place. So I think the bar to entry should be, you know, are you contributing something back through the community, be it additional research, posting on the wiki website itself and contributing to that? Are you contributing videos? Then you have full unfettered access to the information. I think that should be the bar to entry.
Right.
Yeah, I like the tiered
I'm right now feel like I think I just want I want the truth actually to get out there, and so I don't mind that fucking feminists can get on this site for free and look up and find out they're full of fucking bullshit. I really don't. I really think that we should consider what Simona's saying, but I feel kind of the opposite. I don't want to give just any blowjo access to fuck this shit up like they did in Wikipedia. I want people that are really conscientious, that really put in the articles correctly. If they do a critique, which is not just entering the article but critiquing the article, that person is somebody that can do so objectively as possible. You know what I'm saying? And
okay, so anybody can view the website, but as far as like actual editing powers on the website, you have like a submission form where you say, okay, here's my, you know, username, here's my email address, and here's a link to like my YouTube channel or my website that supports, you know, why I should have and be trusted with access to edit articles and create new articles. And then, you know, once the established admins take a look at that and say, okay, yeah, you look legit, then they get editing access. I like
that makes sense. That's a good idea.
Yeah. I like that idea.
Right.
Basically, we got to verify them first, right?
Yeah, you've got to have some. You've got to have some
model on them to begin with. You know, okay, well, you're gonna be able to post 3 articles per day when you start out, and maybe you can get up to 25 articles or something. You know, I don't know. Especially those newcomers, but we know people once they, you know, we've vetted. I would say like somebody like Lit Brit is really good at finding articles and posting those in there. We know she's going to get that right. Critiquing is one thing, a step above that, and we would need somebody, I don't know, with at least, you know, my skill or, you know, close to my skill as critiquing.
Well, Tom, I think that's why I like the wiki setup where we have, you know, the information page, and then that also has a linked discussion page with all of the back and forth, the debate, and a revision history to that page. That's already kind of built into the whole wiki system,
yep.
which why I like that platform, and that's why I'm proposing it, is because we can just say, okay, here's the wiki page as it is now. Here's the revision history for the wiki page. Here's all of the discussion that's been going on the Wikipedia page, and here's where here's the note saying like we would like to have an extra citation for this little assertion on the main page, and here's the discussion for it, and I like the way Wikipedia is set up, but this shitlord's Wikipedia, it should be a counterbalance to the kind of just open free for all and attempts at sending a very specific narrative that have currently encroached upon Wikipedia at large.
Right. My question was that let's say that this gets some traction. Let's say that this gets somewhat popular, and there are already other mainstream YouTubers that are pissed by the new terms of services. What if they want to get on, and how do we adjust to them?
So
because right now this is surrounded by shitlords, right? This is being created by shitlords, and it's very much catering to shitlords. But how do we cater to their needs?
Okay. I've kind of got the database or the research entry tool we keep very tight. Us helping YouTubers, I don't care. I mean, if you disagree with me, fucking put your video up. I don't give a shit. I just don't want you fucking up the data and the research, right? And so on your question, I think, is how do we help our shitlord YouTubers, how to do them a better service? I'm not sure.
Well, it's how do we give a service that helps the mainstream YouTubers as much as the shitlord YouTubers? Because there's a lot of mainstream YouTubers that would like to have an option in case.
I think the main draw for the larger YouTubers would be the place to have easily find citations for the points they're trying to make, and be able to have a searchable wiki database, if you will, and also the ability to create their own pages that show and archive their content either on the site itself or on third-party sites.
And another thing that I've thought about, Anders, on this was, all right, in the YouTube comments section, it's shit, right? If we had our YouTube content or our AltTube comments section where it's almost searchable right there, so when you make a point, you could put in this little, I don't know, search right there, and then it cites to the study debunking the video that you just watched. You know what I'm saying? It's all right there in the comment section. And then you have to fucking deal with, the actual research on the shit you were citing.
Right. I think having a comment section like Reddit would work. But what I was actually talking about were not necessarily the big YouTubers. I was talking about the YouTubers that do mainstream videos, like vlogging channels and
how are they
going to
get attracted?
Yeah, things like I Hate Everything and other YouTubers like that are also pissed with the terms of services. What if they get word of this and then start getting interested?
So let's say, because I'm speaking only for myself here in terms of an idea, but let's say we did start out with something where it was just simply content and then information, and then you could reference back and forth and whatever. You could eventually move towards something where the platform, because I know Simona was saying it has to be user-friendly, right? It has to look nice. You have to want to use it. Think about something like YouTube or Twitch where everyone has their own account, right? But, only so many people have a channel or something like that. And imagine instead of having channels, we had pages. And on that page, maybe you could have headers where someone had their own, information page where they posted their own articles or their own photo gallery, their own videos, their own live stream. It's almost like, you can a bunch of websites on a website, and then, everything's indexed, so you can get around it really easily.
Social
network. Something like that would work.
And I think we can do all of that inside of the wiki platform. I think we should be able to host videos depending on how good the hosting platform is. If needed, we can have articles for all of the all of the different YouTubers that are creating content. We can say, okay, you have editorial power, so if you want to create your own page that archives all of your own stuff without us having to handhold people too much, at least at first. And I think that would be a decent enough draw for people who might not necessarily be like the anti-regressive types, but might get into trouble with certain pieces of content, so they have a place to back up that content and still keep it live somewhere.
I gotta say, I like where Richard's going, but I like your idea as use the I think that Wikimedia or whatever that fucking shit is that Wikipedia uses a SQL database, and then all we've got to do is have a front end guy go in afterwards and create this space that Richard's talking about, but it could be driven as an intermediate step, as what Anders is talking about, to really prove that this can work, and then move on to a more slick, just user-friendly Facebook kind of a feel, because the data is in the fucking database. We just gotta pull it.
Yeah.
Well, here's the
I can help with is the front end design of it. I do a lot of graphic design. I do a lot of front end design and stuff like that. So I can help with making it look like a polished website instead of just some shitty wiki.
Right. Yeah. Great.
And I mean, if you made it look like something appealing, because let's be honest, if you look at something like YouTube or Twitch, I mean, obviously they pay people hundreds of thousands of dollars a year to like, hey, make something that looks like you really want to click on it. Make something like that, and then put the content and the information within it, and people will be all over the place. And there might be a lot of content, and it'd be really confusing if it was in a normal wiki format. But if it was in a nice, easy to navigate format, it would attract a lot of people.
And redesigning the front end of a wiki as far as like CSS and maybe some JavaScript coding as well wouldn't be all that difficult. I mean, you can polish any website backend.
It's not that big of a deal. It's just keeping with the basic UX UI principles and making sure that the information is there, that it's not too much information, because most wikis they're bombarding you. And that's really not a good thing in terms of user experience. And then just provide like a social network alternative for the people who don't want the issues that big social networks have, which there are a lot of people who are starting to withdraw from stuff like Facebook because of the fucking bans over absolutely everything.
Yeah.
So we might end up creating an alternative to some social networks.
Well, and this is a perfect opportunity, because until these assholes take a hit in their wallet, they're going to keep doing this until most of their user base is gone.
Fuck, let's just be better than them. They can fucking be 25% of the market, 25 years from now, and we'll be 75%.
Right.
Sounds like a good deal.
We're going to be 0.000001% to begin with, but fuck,
Everybody has to start somewhere.
Goddamn right.
Yeah. But
All I know is that 9 times out of 10, I seem to be the resource that people go to currently, and I would like to minimize the amount of effort I have to put in.
Exactly.
Yeah, right. But guys, what I'm thinking is, look at Twitter. Their stock market is completely plummeting, yet they're still doing this.
Yeah. We would be like, I mean, theoretically, if we got a lot of our friends involved in this, the people that we like to watch their videos of, and we got it to the point that they're liking it, there's going to be a big mass migration. I mean,
well, I don't think it'll be a mass migration. I think it'll be an adoption of this platform as a backup to the things that we're that we're already using. Like, I don't think we'll ever be able to, as far as like social networking goes, I don't think we'll ever be able to cut into Facebook or Twitter's market share. The exact same thing that we were talking about earlier with cutting into YouTube's market share. They're just too big. They're too big of platforms currently for us to really have the resources, unless we have like multi-millions of dollars to
No,
venture.
I'm not talking. I'm not talking 5 years from now. I'm talking 20, maybe 20 years from now. You know.
Yeah, but you don't want all of the people, because one of the things that is turning, I mean, when you're looking at usage ratios, you notice that a lot of people get really put off by the fact that they're on Facebook and they're friends with their family and their boss, and suddenly you no longer have the freedom to say whatever the hell you want to say, because your boss will see it. So basically, this would be something that wouldn't. I mean, the way I would make it, I wouldn't make it accessible quite to everybody. It would be a bit something for content creators and people who are member of the community and who are contributing, not just everybody's grandmother who comes and fucks the server up with and umpteen millions cat pictures.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, I'm sorry.
I got an idea too.
Let me say something real quick. Patriarchy there in the live chat brought up a very good point. He said you haven't even got the website and now you are bigger than them, and I agree with him. I think we should start out with focusing on creating a very good, very polished Wikipedia based website that is specifically a resource for finding information, citing articles, and allowing people to have a place to post backups of their videos and things like that. We start there and we make that as good and as polished a piece of online software and as polished of a website as possible, and then from there we begin to build other things out. I think, I like the idea of having a long-term plan, but I think at the end of the day we should start out with one very specific goal and then move on from that one very specific goal at once it's been as polished and well presented as possible.
Yeah, you're making a compelling argument, but it'll be up to the collective that we all hate using, but we're going to have a committee. They'll organize the different concepts. They'll put the pros and the cons. They'll place it to the membership, and the membership will have to decide. I mean, that's how we're going to have to do it. But the thing that's going to be great is because we're talking about doing this all open source. If we do get two big camps that eventually decide we just have a totally different concept, we want to do something different, all right. Hey man, thanks for helping us get this far, and they go and they start doing it their way. And if I'm in the camp that loses, I really don't give a shit, because in the end, freedom of speech is what matters.
Anything's possible. You have one big YouTuber who says, like, let's say hypothetically, everyone's going to be like, fuck this guy, I hate his content. Let's say PewDiePie gets his video taken down because he blasts someone, and then he says something on Facebook, and Facebook takes down. He'll be like, "Fuck this shit! I'm going over to abc.net or something." And a guy with 6 million followers, that's enough people to start a big site.
I know how to get big. Then we just need to get Keemstar. That's what I was thinking. If there are other more mainstream YouTubers who do more normal content and don't necessarily come from that shitlord mentality, but still have content that might get in trouble with YouTube, let's say like Filthy Frank, who's not really into the shitlord mentality, or
research, they're fucking pranksters or whatever.
Yeah, true, but how do we welcome those people? How do we welcome, let's say, very liberal YouTubers who, let's say liberal in what people think is liberal in modern society?
Okay,
that's the thing, we don't.
In our content.
Well, and
the next thing
you
know, you're gonna have feminists coming in, and nobody wants that.
Well,
I don't care if they put up
YouTube is filled with feminists. People aren't necessarily mad about it. People just want to be able to respond to them openly without having their videos shut
I agree with that 100%.
I don't think the majority of people are feminists or social justice warriors. The reason why they're so loud on these platforms is because their hateful comments, their bullshit comments never get taken down. Everyone else's do. So I mean, if we just said fuck it, let everyone say whatever the fuck they want.
Here's
you know what side would win.
Platform, and you know why, and the thing is with YouTube, there's a reason that a free speech platform would not end well for them. Just look at any feminist on a site like Reddit, and you can see what it devolves into.
Yeah, you're true, but if we just go fuck it, everybody can post whatever the fuck they want, and then suddenly the wrong people come in, we turn into 4chan.
Oh, by the way, to stop that, Patriarchy Bear just said so in the chat. He said have genres, and again, a landing page we could say, hey, this is for vlogging, this is for this is for shit posting, this is for that. We could put all the retarded people in one little corner and have
exactly. They have to mark their content appropriately. If they are total, absolute fucking crazy nut jobs, there'll be a checkbox, and if they don't fucking check it, they'll get in trouble. But, my style, I think my checkbox is combative. If you don't like a combative type of guy that's going to engage you, fuck, don't check my shit out. I mean,